We have a new auto recall affecting SUV owners. If you drive around with a lot of kids and other passengers in your car, you will want to hear about some seatbelt trouble. And Kim Adams working on your forecast.
A few showers popping up right now on Exact Track 4D radar. I'll tell you if they'll be in your neighborhood coming up in the forecast. Detroit churches and a local nonprofit teaming up to get kids into school. The new plans they're putting in place to make sure every family has the resources they need.
Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Good afternoon. I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, brand new information about that water main break affecting more than 130,000 residents in parts of Macomb and Oakland County. As of tonight, nearly every community originally impacted by the burst pipe does have some access to some water. Meantime, crews are working today to pull the remaining damaged pipe out of the ground. The biggest issue right now is getting more pipe. One stretch of replacement pipe arrived on Monday, but GLWA says it needs 48 additional feet to get that job done. The pipe is being manufactured right now and should be delivered by next Tuesday. The delay pushing back the repair timeline. Now, these 7 communities are still currently under a boil water advisory: Birchville Township, Imlay City, Almont, Bruce Township, Rochester, Shelby Township, and Washington Township. Residents must boil water before drinking or using in food preparation. That's now expected to continue until September 3rd. But is there any financial assistance available for residents?
That is not something that we typically do. We are a governmental entity, and this was an unforeseen circumstance. And so in those circumstances, if we were to say we were to compensate, the charges would go right back to the users of the system.
Meantime, water distribution continues in many of the 7 communities that are impacted. If you can boil enough water for your family, you are asked to go without, as supplies are limited. We're updating specific information about water distribution, and there are links to safety tips that you can use. You'll find it on our website at clickondetroit.com. Defense attorneys grilled an FBI informant in the retrial for 2 men charged with plotting to kidnap Governor Whitmer. Dan Chappell was cross-examined for hours. Attorneys questioned his motivation to get inside the group of anti-government extremists and the key steps he took to gather evidence. Chappell secretly recorded conversations with that group that included Adam Fox and Barry Croft. The 2 men are on trial for a second time on conspiracy charges after a jury failed to reach a verdict earlier this year. First Lady Jill Biden is isolating right now after testing positive for COVID-19. The White House says she's been experiencing some mild symptoms and is taking the antiviral drug Paxlovid, just like her husband did. The president tested negative today and just recovered from a rebound case of the virus on August 7th. The first couple had been vacationing in South Carolina when she started having symptoms on Monday. She will stay at that vacation home for at least 5 days. Well, the state of Michigan just released its weekly update on COVID cases. You can see it recorded more than 23,000 confirmed or probable cases. That's up from just over 16,000 last week. Daily average up about 1,000 from last week, as it's above 3,300 over the past 7 days. Finally, the virus can still have deadly consequences for some. The state reported another 103 deaths linked to confirmed or probable cases of COVID-19. In the first forecast, we're talking about some spotty showers, just like yesterday, and some of you might see a few raindrops. Let's check in with meteorologist Kim Adams.
A few. I know a lot of people are saying, you keep saying rain. I haven't seen a drop at my house. That's because they are so isolated. Take a look at Exact Track 4D radar, and we're going to zoom in a little bit for you right here. If you live in New Baltimore, or just move through New Baltimore, right along I-94 and Gratiot Avenue, just to the south. New Haven, if you're there, you'll get a couple sprinkles. Otherwise, as we zoom back out again, you can see that really there's just not a whole lot going on across the area right now. We're not going to zoom back out here. Let's go to the forecast then for the rest of tonight, because the ARMADA Fair is going on. So we might see a couple of isolated showers, but otherwise it's going to be pleasant. It's monster truck night at the ARMADA Fair. So we'll talk about your forecast for the weekend. Let me step out of the way so you can see a warmer day on Friday. We'll talk about that warm up in just a couple minutes.
All right, thank you, Kim. President Joe Biden is celebrating the biggest legislative victory of his time in the White House. Many Democrats wanted it to be even bigger, but only a last-minute compromise delivered the package at all. The president just signed the so-called Inflation Reduction Act at the White House. Now, the ceremony started about 25 minutes ago. It's a victory lap for the president and top Democrats who were able to pass the bill with the help of moderate Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia and Kristen Sinema of Arizona. Kimberly Gill in the newsroom right now with a closer look at what's inside the legislation. Kim.
Hi, Karen. Good afternoon. Yeah, the White House says today's bill signing is only the beginning of a comprehensive victory lap the president will take in the coming weeks. The timing couldn't be better for the president with the midterm elections just 12 weeks away. The president signed the $750 billion bill in the state dining room a short time ago. It spends more than $430 billion to reduce carbon emissions. It extends subsidies for health insurance under the Affordable Care Act, and it allows Medicare to negotiate drug prices, which could bring prices down for millions of Americans. Also, it sets a 15% minimum tax for corporations making at least $1 billion per year. The bill passed without any Republican support. The president spoke about what the bill offers just before putting pen to paper.
The bill I'm about to sign is not just about today, it's about tomorrow. It's about delivering progress and prosperity to American families. It's about showing the American and the American people that democracy still works in America, notwithstanding all the talk of its demise. Not just for the privileged few, but for all of us.
And the president is planning to capitalize on this accomplishment. The White House says he's arranging a whole series of events to highlight the impact of the bill on Americans. On the other hand, Republicans also plan to campaign on the new law and will remind Americans of all the reasons they voted against it. Karen, for now, we'll send it back to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Kim. Another legal battle is heading to court over the raid at former President Donald Trump's Florida home. The search warrant is already public. Now Trump is pushing to get the affidavit supporting the warrant unsealed as well. The Justice Department opposes that request, saying it contains highly classified materials, and making it public could keep witnesses from cooperating. The judge who approved the search warrant will hold a hearing Thursday on request to unseal the affidavit. The FBI recovered 11 sets of classified documents during the raid. Trump has claimed he declassified them. That claim is also causing heated legal debates. One of Trump's biggest critics is facing a huge primary battle as voters go to the polls in Wyoming today. Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney is facing a Trump-backed challenger after she voted to impeach the former president, and she's been leading the January 6th investigation on Capitol Hill. Now, Cheney has said she doesn't expect to lose, even though polls show her trailing badly. We'll keep you posted on how that race turns out. As we head into another school year, there are many who don't have the ability to get their children to class in the morning. The numbers show many families in the city of Detroit struggle, and we know students suffer when they can't participate in their education. Priya Mann introduces us this afternoon to a program that is reaching out to help solve that problem.
The goal here isn't to ostracize or judge families, but find solutions that meet their unique needs so that every student in Detroit, from pre-K to their senior year, has a way to get to school every day.
Each of us needs to do our part to make sure that our children are getting everything that they need to be well equipped for the future.
Detroit churches and the nonprofit Helping Kids Go to School are teaming up to ensure students are in the classroom throughout the school year.
We are encouraging our members to become mentors, to check in with families, to make sure that the families have the resources that they need in order for their children to be in school.
Why do you think it's so vital that churches become a part of the solution here when it comes to getting our children in school?
Because the churches in Detroit are the most respected entity that we have in our city.
The charitable organization says Detroit has one of the highest chronic absenteeism rates of any major city in the country. More than 50% of students are chronically absent starting in kindergarten.
It could be environmental issues such as transportation. It could be economic issues such as parents having to work, mental or physical issues, being afraid to go to school right now. So there are a lot of factors.
They're uplifting the next generation and unleashing untapped economic and academic potential, breaking the school-to-prison pipeline or cycles of poverty, helping Detroit families get our youngest and brightest off to school every day.
Maybe some families can partner with other families. Maybe parents can take turns. Maybe they can have carpools. Maybe they don't know that busing is available. There are all kinds of things that we need to begin to talk about. And as we dialogue, we can get more children in school, more parents the support that they need so that we can make a difference in this issue.
In Detroit, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
All right, thank you, Priya. By the way, if you'd like to become a coach, maybe a mentor, or get connected with some of those resources, we posted more information at clickondetroit.com.